welcome back to my channel, That Carnivore Life. My name is Emily, and this channel, if you haven't been around for a while, is typically all about my life as a carnivore and why I do it. Today's video is a little bit of a catch up, a little bit of a fill in about what's going on with my life and what has been going on with my life and what the future looks like and what it holds. So this channel I once ran as a single person. I am now very married. It has been 6 months in just a couple of days since my husband and I tied the knot, in courtesy of my wifey hat. And for those of you who have been around as a follower for a long time, you would know that this physique that you see here isn't my carnivore physique. So I will go into that. If you know how to get rid of the shadow behind me, please message me and let me know, because unless I'm all the way back here, which feels really distant, there's a big shadow. So let's get into it. I stopped carnivore. That's as simple explanation as to why you see this not carnivore slim physique that you would see on a lot of people who do carnivore content videos. I stopped quite unintentionally. Basically what happened is I met my husband, and through part of our dating journey, our engagement journey and our honeymoon, we went off carnivore. It was not planned. Basically what happened was we met, we dated long distance. I moved from California to Alabama. During that move, I was ultra sick. Out of nowhere, don't know what it was, so many different things. Ended up on a couple of different antibiotics for a few weeks. And eventually I got better. But in the couple of weeks before I got better, I went and got frozen yogurt. I'm not even a big yogurt person, but I went and got frozen yogurt, and I told myself, I'll just have this small little one. I won't even eat all of it, and I'll just do it the once and I'll be fine. Well, that's a lie addicts tell themselves without them realizing themselves are telling themselves that. And I should not have done that. Anyway, I did. And at the same time, my husband was working a conference, and that's like insane. He does like 300 hours of work in a 24-hour period. It's an insane conference. So he was working that conference, and he's like, I'm just going to eat what they feed me. I'll try and be mindful. So he did that. I got to go to some of the events at that conference, and one of the mornings they served donuts. I don't even like donuts. Well, I didn't like donuts. And I ate a donut and then another donut and then a half a donut, because eating 3 would have been really bad. And so the whole point for him was, he had said to me, look, I'm going to eat some things at the conference, but the moment the conference is over, I'm back on carnivore. Well, the conference was over. He knew I had eaten a few things. By the way, the yogurt that I ate was at least 10 days before this conference. And when we walked out, he's like, hey, you have to try this food. And that began a season where he and I were like, oh, I remember this from my childhood. You've got to try it. Oh, this is one of my favorite places. Let's go. Let me introduce you. Let me show you this memory that's attached to this food. Don't fall for that trick. And so we did that for a while, and then it got to Thanksgiving. So this conference was in July. It gets to Thanksgiving, and his parents were coming down, and I was meeting them for the first time, and I wanted to do something fun, and his parents are not a carnivore couple. Neither of them do carnivore. And so I decided that I was going to order some treats from Australia. So these are chocolates that I grew up eating, different candies, different crackers, what we call biscuits. And I was just going to get a small amount of a number of things. We would split it 4 ways. So for example, a candy bar was split 4 ways, but there were like 2 or 3 kinds of candy bars, right? So anyway, we do that. And, you know, every time we ate a couple of things, it was either like, instead of a meal or a day, it was like 2 or 3 days to like a week to maybe 10 days. And then it gets to Christmas, and he was doing a Christmas event. He works in production. And this Christmas event was over about a week, and we were both spending many hours at this Christmas event. And he's like, oh, you have to try this Christmas thing. It's so cool. So I tried that. And then I was like, well, I'm going to eat this and that. And then I was like, wait, you should try this. Then we get engaged. We got engaged the 1st of January. And I'm like, that's it. I've got a wedding coming. It's real now. I'm going to stick real carnivore, real strict. And I'm going to lose all this weight, get back down to the weight that I was at right before I met him. Or even a little bit before then, and then, you know, I'm in a year, blah, blah, blah. Well, I lasted almost a month. And then I was like, oh, I'll just have this one thing. I can have a little of one thing. It's fine. No, you can't. A little is never one mouthful. One mouthful is always like an entire meal or 6 days or 6 months. Like, it's just, don't learn from me and don't go there. Anyway, fast forward, it was, we got married the 2nd of May, and it was up, down, on, off carnivore the whole time. I got married at a much higher weight than I would have liked to have gotten married at. I loved my dress. I think I look beautiful and stunning in it, and I was delighted to marry my husband. He is amazing. He is considerate. He is kind. He is encouraging. He is wise, and he annoys the heck out of me, let's be honest. But I love him, and I'm so glad we got married, and I'm so glad we didn't wait longer than what we did. We had both talked about the fact that we were going on our honeymoon and we were going to Hawaii, and we both wanted to try some local things that we knew probably weren't carnivore. So we decided we weren't going to go overboard, but we were going to have a few things in Hawaii that we knew wouldn't be carnivore, and that when we got back, we would get back on carnivore. And we did, for all intents and purposes. The very next day after we got back on carnivore. But it was one of these like up, down, you know, we'd do a week, we'd go off for a few days or a week, we'd do another week. And we'd kind of been like that. Well, recently, we both took one very hard, long look in the mirror and at each other, and we were both like, I'm the heaviest weight I've ever been. This can't keep going on. I have to change. And I'm like, I have this negative health issue back, and I can't keep going this way. This is stupid. It's not good for our health. We don't want this to be our portion or our future. And we have got back on carnivore. And we're very determined, I will say that. And so, obviously, when I fell off the wagon with carnivore, I was recording a lot less content and I was a lot less active on my social media outlets. But I will say that dating somebody and going into that season of dating, engagement, and marriage, that also had an effect on how present I was on my station. It wasn't simply because I had gone off carnivore. I don't like to have my phone out. I like to live in the moment. So we could do a cross the country trip, and I'll barely record, take photos, I'm so thankful that my husband loves to take photos in those moments, because I don't. And so that was also a big part of me being a little less present on my station and my social media. But going off carnivore to the degree that I did ended up having a greater influence as to my level of presence. But I am back on track and I am working towards sharing my journey again. When I first started sharing content on carnivore, I had already lost some weight. I would say I was probably down 170, 180 pounds when I started my YouTube channel originally. I'd have to go back in and look at that content. I'm not sure if I shared my weight or not. I think I probably did. When I first started Carnivore, which was June of 2020, I was about 197, 198 pounds. The smallest I got down to was at the end of 2022. So it was like basically New Year's Eve, and I got down to 154.6 pounds. I was not at my goal weight. You could still tell I had excess fat that needed to go, but I looked 1,000 times healthier than I do now. Had just started wearing size 10 clothing, and it was fitting very nicely. At the moment, I'm definitely not wearing size 10. I honestly don't know what I'm wearing. Pretty confident it's at least a 16. On the 19th of October, I got up to my highest weight, and that was 209 pounds. And it's my highest weight by like 2 pounds. But it is not where I want to be. My husband was also at his highest weight that he had ever been, and we were both like, no, this has to stop. So since the 19th of October, which is 11 days, we have been back on Carnivore. Are we clean carnivore? Are we lion? No. Are we dirty carnivore? Not quite. So basically what we're doing is we're eating all the meats, we're eating eggs, some seafood is in there as well, so shellfish, fish. That's more like if we went to sashimi or something, is when we typically have that. We don't bring salmon home and cook it. We do have a bit of cheese. I try to limit it. My husband can get away with cheese more than what I can, so I try and limit how much dairy that I have. I am a sucker for a tea with heavy whipping cream, whether it's hot or iced. I am a sucker for stopping at Starbucks and getting a venti black iced tea, light ice, no water, heavy cream. This is water, by the way. But it doesn't help. If I have one of those a week or whatever, it's kind of okay. But it is really quite addictive for me. I've got English in my blood. I am a tea drinker. As we all know, tea, coffee, not technically carnivore. A lot of people can have it without issues. A lot of people can get away with it. I can kind of get away with it as a single person, definitely. As a married person, not so much. Why? It gives me bad breath, and then what happens? My husband doesn't want to kiss me. So, tea is out. In saying that, I am part of a small group of women. We meet once a week on a Wednesday morning, and they go out of their way to make sure that there is tea and heavy cream there for me. And you know what? It's the Christmas season. It's going into Christmas and Thanksgiving, where there are a lot of temptations, and that has been known to be very, very hard for me. So if I have a hot tea with heavy whipping cream on a Wednesday morning once a week, so be it for now. I also have a little bit of cheese with some, not all of my meals. It could be some grated cheese with a taco bowl, and I'm talking like a pinch, with some sour cream. My husband made deviled eggs, but the filling, instead of putting the egg yolks back in, he did a buffalo chicken dip, and that had sour cream and cream cheese. It had a little bit of hot sauce and some salt. Don't think there was anything else in there, but don't hold me to it. But it was all those like fringe carnivore things, and that hot sauce that doesn't have sugar in it. And so I've had some of those. And that's what I mean by like dirty carnivore. We have some dairy. We will also have some seasonings. So we'll use tahini, smoked paprika. We have rice, hickory and mesquite, liquid smoke that don't contain sugar, so we'll use those. And again, these are occasional. So often we'll make bacon and eggs for breakfast, and it's salt, the bacon and the eggs. It's more when we do like a taco bowl that we will use some of those seasonings. We will also sometimes make tacos or like burritos using the original Egg Life wraps. So there's obviously a few things in there that you wouldn't say are carnivore, like citric acid, for example. And we might use some whole grain mustard, but again, the ingredients, like there's vinegar, there's salt, but there isn't sugar. There isn't rice flour or things like that. So that's kind of what we do with Carnivore at the moment, and what I'm going to be doing with Carnivore through the end of the year, because I know of all of the temptations that are there. Come 2026, January 2026, that is World Carnivore Month. I usually become a lot tighter in the way that I eat carnivore. I usually cut out dairy completely, tea completely, seasonings completely. We've been eating a lot of leaner meats lately, so I'm trying to like up my butter content. But in that month, I may even go and eat more of the ruminant meats and less of, the bird. So that's kind of like what I do in that space and what I'm going to be doing. Usually when I've got back on carnivore in the past, I have gone ultra strict, no seasoning, no dairy, no tea. It's butter, beef, and eggs with some chicken very occasionally, but it's usually after the first, month to 2 months, depending on like how my body's feeling and have I got sick of all the steaks. It's a little bit different when you're married. I am so discovering and I'm learning through that process. All of this to say, I'd love for you to join me. Now is the perfect time to join me. My mission of this channel is to share what life is like as a carnivore. That doesn't mean I'm constantly showing you a steak or how to cook a chicken or a turkey. It also means that I show you what my daily life is like. For example, the tumblers that I love to drink out of. The fact that my husband and I might be going on a road trip. We might show you a mountain range. I might show you my outfit of the day. I might share how I survived a car accident. You might see a dirty, unorganized house instead of a set up house. Like there's so many different things that I will share on this channel and my social media, simply because you have a life as well. And if you're going to do carnivore and you're going to navigate it into your life, it's sometimes helpful to see those examples and how other people navigate things that crop up in life. And that's the mission of my station, is to be really quite real. And that's why I don't just wait until I've lost the weight on carnivore. I bring you along on the journey. It also helps me to stay focused on my goals. As I said, now is a perfect time to join me as I'm getting back on carnivore. I'm going to be setting up regular small groups. We're going to meet weekly. They will be available weekly. If you can't join weekly, that's fine. We're going to meet for an hour on Zoom. It'll be once a week, and we're going to encourage each other on this carnivore journey. It will be a place where you can ask questions. It will be a place where you can share your experiences. We are going to support each other on this journey to reach our goals. To wrap up this video, I'll say this. I have been on carnivore and I have been off carnivore. I don't care what anyone says who is against carnivore. I know what I felt like not eating carnivore previous to discovering this way of eating. I know what I felt like over the last better part of a year. And I know what I have felt like previously on carnivore. I know what my blood tests showed. I know what my skin showed. I know that all of the negative health things that I suffered from, things that were diagnosed, things that were undiagnosed, disappeared on carnivore, and they have come back now that I've been off carnivore for the best part of a year. It's not a life worth living. It's so much better when I eat carnivore. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And that's why I'm sharing this, because I know if I'm experiencing and have experienced that, then I know there's people out there who have a similar or the same experience, and I want them to know what I know so that they can make the best decision for themselves. So like my video, subscribe, share it with people. Find me on Instagram, thatcarnivorelife. Find me on TikTok, thatcarnivorelife. Email me at emily@thatcarnivorelife.com and let me know. Comment or reach out to me through one of those platforms, send me an email. Let me know if you would like to join my small groups. They will be starting soon. Bye for now and see you next time.